this is what the carpet looks like stuck back in. I haven't even bolted this back in yet, but you can see that is the original carpet. It's in such good condition. It's unbelievable. There's no dirt in it anywhere, and you can tell it's the original carpet. I mean, it's got some wear spots in it and little defects and stuff like that, but it smells like nothing's ever touched it. No dirt or anything. There's no dirt in it when you vacuum and rub your hands across it. So it's as clean as it can possibly get for what I'm given. And the piling and everything looks good on it. Even where the driver's foot is. It's in really, really, really good condition. It's amazing how well it came out. Car back together. It's important to try to make it look as good as you can, right? You want the thing to look perfect when you get done. So one of the things that I like to do is just clean every single part with a cleaner and a toothbrush before I put it down. I've got my panel here, and before I take it out and respray dye it, I want to take these snaps off that are for the cover when the top's down, because I want them to look nice and clean. When I put everything back together, this is nice and white. I want this to be clean silver, and so I'm gonna polish them before I put them back on. It's pretty simple because they're just attached with rivets, and I have access to the back side. So I'm gonna take a cheap pair of pliers. I'll hold the back side of the rivet, and then I'll drill right through it. Should be able to take that off of there. Yeah. There we go. I want to freshen this up with some of this spray dye. So I've already, of course, scrubbed it. Then I've put my paint prep on there. And now I am shaking up my spray dye to put it on. The way I spray my stuff is I try to do all this backside first and all these edges. That way when I flip it over, I can focus on what everybody's really going to see. But if there happens to be an edge exposed or something, it won't look funny like it's undone. So, being that they're not as important, I'll do these inside edges first. Light dusting on there, and I'll come back and I'll feel it to see if it's still tacky. As soon as it's not tacky anymore, I'll put another light dusting on it, and I'll just keep repeating that until I get a solid color. Once I've got a solid color, I'll spray a thicker coat on. Alright, this is the side that everybody's going to see. When you're looking in the car, this is what you're going to see. The back seat is approximately here. I can see a line right here with the back seat. The back of the back seat probably goes across here somewhere. There's a piece of carpet that goes here, which I've already cleaned up inside. I'm going to glue that back on. Put the speaker back in. This is where I need to rivet back on those snaps to hold the little tonneau cover on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by dusting all around all these edges and making sure I get them good. You already see that that's starting to turn a lot more white. This is going to look a lot better than that dingy yellow white. This is going to be a nice bright white. It won't take too long for this stuff to dry. There's some good stuff. It's SM Arnold leather, carpet, vinyl, and hard plastic refinisher. And it's some good stuff. I've used it before. It doesn't rub off. It adheres down in I guess on a molecular level or something. It definitely does a good job. And what we'll do is I'll show you. We'll try to scratch some of it off of here. Yeah, it isn't already coming off. And that's a couple of things. It's really good stuff. Plus the light dusting coats makes it completely dry before you put the next coat on there. It makes it harder. It's looking like one uniform color. Now once I've put enough dust coats on there that when I don't see any of these little marks around here, these little darker spots, I'll know that the coverage is good. Then I will put a coat on while looking at the gloss, the reflection of the sun off of the side of it, and I'll make sure that that's all nice and even. And that way I've got a nice even fit sheen and a nice even thick coat. You're looking across here, and we want this to be even. The sheen. And when I say sheen, what I mean is the reflection of the light that's coming back into our eyes from the light source. We want that to be an even, smooth sheen. So we don't want to see dull spots and shiny spots and all over the place. That means you don't have enough paint on. Your paint is not applied thoroughly. So you keep going until you get the sheen to be all even. That way when you look at it from an angle and the light reflects, it all looks the same. Then you know you have the right amount of paint there. I don't see a lot of those spots. So now I'm going to put one more coat on it once this wind dies down. And it's going to, you're going to see what I'm talking about with the gloss. You'll see the gloss come back off of it, especially while it's still wet. And that's how I'm going to know that I've got the even coats, because I'm going to paint according to the gloss, not according to the coverage, according to the light reflection. You do this, this is also how you do clear coat and stuff like that. So when you do this, what you want to do is you want to get your head in a position where you can see the light reflecting. And we're going to do this pattern this way across. Can you see that light reflecting? I think you can. See how that gloss was nice and even, and now that sheen looks exactly the same. And you see, I wasn't focusing on any corners, I wasn't focused on any edges. I was doing a smooth pattern all the way across the whole thing. And if you noticed, I would start over here and I'd start moving. When I got to the part, I put my paint on. When I go to stop, I take off the paint and keep moving. So it's like this, it's like moving on, off, stop moving, moving on, off, stop moving.